let's be real about problems.
Don't we all got them?
Most certainly do. a lot of teams in the playoffs do too. So we back here again, starting 5 with our recurring guest, Savage. We ain't seen him.
Hey. I'm back to drop facts. That's all I'm here.
Okay. I guess. And I guess Mr. Ford.
Yeah, what's up?
Boy, smooth talking.
Happy to be here.
What up, Ford? Or produced by Ford. Artist
What do you do?
Ford, man. What's up? What's going on, brother?
What's good, man? Happy to be here. Thanks y'all for the invite.
Oh, no problem.
I'm a fan, so good to be a part for today.
For sure. What you like best of the show? I know you listened to last week's because you and Miles got a good relationship. So what you think about last week?
Well, I actually been listening to it maybe 2 months, but I don't know. I just like the fact that I know a lot of y'all personally, so and y'all know y'all deep into the basketball. A lot of people just surface, but I can tell y'all go deep. I was telling my homie y'all know how much actually people getting paid, so I'm like. The average fan not going.
He took heed of the episode when I went over how much Russ was making the next week.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, wow, that's pretty personal. So they know that stuff, more than the just average Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Twitter, NBA Twitter person.
Speaking of personal, man, I remember meeting you back on Twitter. Before you even stepped on University of Memphis campus. So to see what you've been able to do, man, I'm definitely proud of you, and I'm pretty sure all of us right here.
Definitely.
So
definitely, man.
I guess just to take it back from the beginning, what made you start getting into producing and arting, or being an artist?
Yeah. So I started kind of doing music around high school, maybe 19th grade, because I was hooping. I grew up hooping, you know what I'm saying, travel ball, all that type of stuff. But then when I went to high school, I didn't make the team. So then I was every day after work, I'm tripping. Every day after school, I just have out of time. And then I saw a friend, he started just putting songs on MySpace. So I hit him up yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Oh my God. I just dated myself, never mind. But I had a homie that started putting music up. So I asked him how are you doing this? So he kind of showed me the way. To at least just start recording. So that was probably 9th grade. And then I just started making beats after that. And I was producing for my homie, a couple homies in high school. So then I just decided to go to school for it. So, yep. And then that goes to the point where I met Toot.
So who are some of the artists you've worked with?
So far it's been obviously Early, who y'all had last week. He's kind of the main person that I've been consistent with. We were in music school together. That's my homie. We've been doing music 4 or 5 years now. But him, and then an artist named Shekinah, artist named Julia. Just a couple more people. I'm honestly kind of selective, so it's that's something I got to get better at, just working with, a lot of different other artists. But mostly it's been the same people that I've been working with for years, people that I'm really homies with. So we just been cooking up with them basically.
If you can have 3 artists to work with in the game right now, who would they be?
Yeah, okay. So first, my all-time...
He been ready for that one. He ready when he slapped their hands all right, so first.
Exactly. I think about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So first off, today's Stevie Wonder's birthday, so it's my all-time favorite.
Okay.
So him, and then maybe Bob Marley. I mess with Bob Marley in third. Young Dolph, let's just say.
I was like, you throwing a rapper in there.
Yeah, I was bumping Young Dolph the other day at the gym, so let's just say Young Dolph.
It's Dolph.
Who's a producer that you kind of find yourself I kind of he's somebody that I want to be the next of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. First off, well, obviously when I started, Kanye was the biggest influence, but it's some personal stuff. It just kind of lessen his influence, but he's still obviously probably the biggest, but it's less now. So honestly, now probably might say Pharrell. Pharrell, he's doing a whole lot of dope things, and obviously I like how Pharrell can just choose when and now he wants to be an artist, but he's always a producer, and then he has several other things that he's into, and also Pharrell's just a super cool dude. He even as he getting older, it just look like he getting younger. So
right, he don't
Pharrell,
age, man.
Yeah, he went in that life basically. So. People like him, I think Swiss Beats, people that got the whole package is they dope at music and have actual well sustained life. Like,
Yeah.
not going crazy over this.
Yeah.
Like Zaytoven, he a good. I feel like person that got like good work and personal life balance. So those type of people. So yeah, for sure.
All right, so of course you're an alum from the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
You've been keeping up with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I have.
We're gonna talk a lot more into it in this episode, but give us your brief stint about the Tigers, what they've been doing.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see. And even right before we came here, they got a
Boogie
Ellis.
Yeah, Boogie Ellis. Like, I just hope, you know what I'm saying, it's not overhauled. But I'm very excited. Like, I just love to see, like, man, the excitement just like ramp up. Just like how we had it like a few years ago with football. It's really, you know what I'm saying, it's cool to see it like coming back full circle with basketball now. Because obviously, like, you know what I'm saying, all of our lives, Memphis has been a basketball school. So, like, to kind of see it go to a football school is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we about to, you know what I'm saying, get back to what we know. And, like, even just go further. So, like, if we get a championship, that'll be too crazy.
It's feeling like 08, man.
crazy.
It's feeling like
It's
Party on Bill gonna be so crazy.
Too crazy. Like,
who are your favorite teams, NBA and NFL?
honestly, okay, so Tugno, but it's like Carmelo is my favorite player. So, like, I'm just kind of really, like, perplexed because it's like I don't know who I'm rooting for. I like watching Steph Curry play because it's like he literally, like, human video game.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm rooting for the Warriors, but I'm excited to see like Dame having his moment right now. So kind of pulling for them too. But I don't really have like a team. And then with football, it's like I ain't really been on football since the whole, black,
Yeah.
I feel you.
But I think I might give it a shot like next year since Cap, whatever happened with that.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I don't really have just like a team in basketball. So
How do you feel about Carmelo as far as like what happened this past season?
man, it's really disappointing, bro. If I'm just be honest, because I am honest. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Bro, like, man, it really hurt because it's like, it just like to see him kind of like be his own downfall, his kind of stubbornness. Like you just think about like how like he laughed at like. Scoffed at like coming out the bench. Like, and he was like, "Who, me? Like, I would never like." And it just showed like, you know what I'm saying, kind of times changing and passing them by. It's like an old rapper, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
good
Like,
analogy.
dang,
I like
your
that.
time is kind of gone, my nigga. Like, you were great, but it's like, dang, you gotta give it up right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of disappointing, you know. I wonder what he's gonna do. It's like he's still posting like pictures of him like hooping on Instagram. So I'm like, what you doing?
Who the hell now?
It's like-
Skull Cap Mello? Who the hell now?
I'm just like,
Beanie Mello now.
Man, so it's like I really, you know, when people like diss him, it's like I just kind of got to take it and be like, I mean, he the only one that has 3 gold medals.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Captain
like
America.
shout out to for
Captain
saying that because
America.
I do remember him saying that.
Captain
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, like for sure.
So of course you're not from Memphis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's unfortunately, but within your music, how has the city of Memphis impacted you?
Man, the city of Memphis is like, once I started really learning about like how much influence the city had, like it just really made me want to be a part of it, and that's kind of why like I guess I haven't left yet. Like being that I graduated a few years ago, but it's like some of my like personal favorites like Isaac Hayes, like Al Green, and then you of course you even go to people like today like Young Dolph, Key Glock, Tay Keith. It's so many people that it's like, man, I just want to be a part of their history, and it's like I just mess with the city as a whole, so it's like even if you go back to like Stacks and see how they were like instrumental in civil rights in the civil rights movement, and then you know what I'm saying, obviously like the actual civil rights movement being in Memphis, like it's just a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, dope ways that the city and music has kind of like coincided, and like Memphis really like they love our culture like overseas, like for real. Like one day I just randomly got like thousands of plays in like Australia, something like that.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's like our culture, you know, here we just see it as Memphis music or whatever, but like overseas and like especially I think Europe, they really like go crazy over the Memphis blues, like Memphis, whatever, you know what I'm saying? All these different types of music that we have like coming out of Memphis, like. So yeah, I just want to be a part of the whole history and, you know, just make my impact after once I started like learning about stuff that's really happening and stuff like that. And the stuff that's still going on too.
So my next question to kind of bounce off what you just asked, which is, do you think Memphis is finally getting credit for some of the music that it puts out? 'Cause I know several years ago, or even when like when Pat Nam was out, like 3 6 Mafia, like they were kind of like known as like underground artists and stuff like that. But do you think now that like you've had your Yo Gottis, you've had the Young Dolph, you've had your Key Glocks, you had Moneybagg, like with all these people that's now coming out, do you think Memphis is finally getting the credit for like the music that it deserves?
Yeah, I do, because like almost all the young rappers, they obviously look up to the trap movement or whatever, and anybody will tell you that like if you listen to like T.I. or who else, like Young Jeezy, Gucci Mane especially, but like they will all tell you that like, nah, I got my stuff from like Memphis, like Project Pat 3 6 them, like, and then obviously like ASAP's, like the influence is really just gone everywhere. Like it's crazy. So I do feel like it's finally starting to get, you know what I'm saying, the props, but it's still like I feel like a long way to go, because it's like most of the stuff that's known now is more like the kind of gangster rap or just like, you know what I'm saying, just some young turn shit. But it's like I feel like what I kind of do, the type of music I do is like different, like just on some kind of like chill waves or some like R&B or just some like chill rap. Like, so I feel like there still like needs to be a light shed on that type of music, because there's a lot of dope people in Memphis, like artists that rap or sing that, you know what I'm saying, not on the, that don't do what, like, you know what I'm saying, the typical sound that's being pushed. So yeah, like we getting the props as a city, but it's like it's still, I feel like a lot left to be had.
Cool. So of course, the month of May, we're interviewing, bringing in different artists and producers to dedicate this month for the influence of hip hop through sports. So the last question for me is, what is the impact that you think hip hop has had in sports?
Yeah, like with now being 2019 and hip hop is like officially the biggest genre of music in the world, I think it just showed that like hip hop is really just synonymous with kind of sports, but you know what I'm saying, we kind of know it for basketball, but it's like, I think music, to me, music is like the metronome to your life. So it's like the pace at which you live your life. So if you know what I'm saying, you kind of need to like, if you need to get in an aggressive mode because you need to, you know what I'm saying, box a nigga out, like, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to need to listen to some music that'll put you in that mind state. And then, like I was saying, with it being like the largest genre, like, it's now the most diverse. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? To me, you can find like a rap song for any mood you in. You know what I'm saying? Any type of theme you in. But I think it works specifically with sports and even more specifically with basketball, just because it's just like the mentality. Like, you know, a lot of these people like grew up from the same type of situation. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? The music is talking about a grind. Basketball players feel like they going through a grind, you know, whether it's like getting recruited, getting playing time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like different stories. Like the basketball players want to rap, the rappers wish they could play basketball. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah.
Good. Well, we really appreciate you coming through, but now it's time for you to go ahead and put that armor on. It's about that time.
Man, let's get it.
All right, remember, we are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to iHeartMedia and 1019 Kiss FM. You can listen to us on any podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LBR Sports 901 and join the Facebook group at the Let's Be Real group. All right, before we continue, we have to give a shout out to a reviewer from iTunes, Mr. Uncle Duke 2.0.
Mr. Uncle Duke.
In fact, Duke is in his name.
Is one of y'all uncles, man?
No relation.
Uncle Duke and two? Yeah.
Wow.
Uncle Duke and Took.
What up, Uncle Duke?
That sounds like a sitcom.
But shout out to him. He gave us a 5-star rating, and he wanted to hear he wanted to hear us talk about Penny and what we see from them in the next 3 to 5 years. And you get your wish. We're going to talk about it in this episode.
The perfect episode, too.
Yep. So first we're going to start off with the NBA. A lot of craziness has happened in these playoffs. Good craziness. Then we go on to college and talk about the Memphis Tigers. And we finish with our famous and our new song.
He's just trolling.
Hey, I always want to say that's perfect too. Like, y'all should never re-record that and make it sound perfect. Just keep that.
But let's start off with the NBA. We'll do the semifinals review. All series are over. Right now, the conference finals are set between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference, and the Portland Trail Blazers and Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference. So I guess we'll start off from the top. Milwaukee and Boston.
Before we do start, we do got to give credit where it's due. Sharky, you were the only one to predict all 4 of the advances, so we do got to give let you smell the flowers while you got them. So
I want to be wrong.
Yeah, on one arm, we're gonna get to that one. All right, go ahead.
So with this series, I'm kind of disappointed in Kyrie, but at the same time, I kind of expected it because we all knew Kyrie was gone, but his body language throughout the series, and then even in the press conference, or like the things that he said, where he said I was 7 for 22, I should have shot 30 shots. You know what I'm saying? He checked out a long time ago, and to him, it looked like the series was already over before it even started, and that's indicative of them winning just one game, win 5 games, right? 5. Yeah, like he was gone. Boston is in an interesting predicament right now because, like I said, Kyrie's gone. Rozier, I think Rozier is gone. To be honest, I feel like he was devalued in Boston, and I feel like somebody like Phoenix might give him a decent amount of money to be a point guard. You know what I'm saying? Hayward he's still getting paid, and nobody else taking that contract. I mean, he's damaged goods right now. He got what a $150 million contract, something crazy like that.
Something crazy.
And he had like 7 points a game or something like that in playoffs. Like, come on, man. What else? At some point, they got to figure out what they're doing with Tatum and Brown. They need to be the focal point, in my opinion, but I'll save it for later. And with the Bucks, I'll just leave it at this. I kind of agree with Sharky. I feel like they might do it. They might go to the finals and give Tuke's Warriors some problems.
Definitely. That'll be a finals to watch. But I think with me, it was just a matter of, Boston beat Indiana because I guess they were the better team, and I thought the Indiana was going to beat the Celtics because I thought that the best team would perform. So, of course, they come against I just had a brain fart. Who they just lose to? The Bucks. And then it's like, okay, the best team beat the Celtics, but for 1. But for 2, we saw who the Boston Celtics truly were, and it's only one basketball. That's something I've been saying. I think they fluked us with that Pacers series, and if we look closer to that, even
the Pacers didn't even have Oladipo.
Yeah, and it was a still close series though, and
exactly,
I think we should have paid more attention to that. But it's like you come across a team who may have the MVP on the team. It's only one basketball and ego. You got Kyrie, who has won a championship literally for a team and who wants the ball in his hand. You have Jason Tatum, who wants the ball in his hand, who got a little glimpse of what he can do, last year. So it's like it's a clash. I didn't expect to see that this series, but it was over with the quickness. Shout out to the Bucks.
Yeah. So I'll just basically echo what Savage said as far as Kyrie's mindset. I'll even go back and say his mindset has been that way throughout the season, as opposed to the playoffs, because when they even asked him about his upcoming free agency, he was kind of a little nonchalant, and just his whole demeanor and how he went about it. I feel to kind of doom the team going into that series with the Bucks, and you saw what happened. Again, shout out to the Bucks. One thing that we are forgetting that's also flying under the radar, Al Horford has a player option, so he could actually opt out of his deal and look to go somewhere else as well.
That's another thing.
I think honestly that Boston would do whatever to keep Terry Rozier, because if I'm not mistaken, he is a restricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they match whatever deal to try to bring Rozier back. I think Horford probably opts in, and they just have to figure something out between Tatum and Brown at this point. So they're going to fall off, in my opinion, but not by as much. But again, shout out to the Bucks, and sky's the limit with them guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll just say I think the 2 biggest takeaways that I'll take from the Celtics and the Bucks going into the conference finals is team chemistry is huge. Like it's something that you can't just sweep under the rug. Like that team chemistry is just something that you just like. Everybody has to buy into the same goal. Everybody has to believe in the same thing. And I just think that when things were going rough for the Celtics, I think they never got back to what their initial goal was. Like who's going to be the leader, like who's supposed to be doing this, who's supposed to be doing that. And because there was so much talking back and forth, the team chemistry it never got back to what it was supposed to be. And that literally cost them from getting to at least where I thought going into the season, at least them being able to get to the finals. Kyrie Irving, like you said, Savage, he was a huge distraction. I thought he was a huge distraction. I thought they would have been able to, at least him, to get everybody to buy into it. Like, okay, I'm the leader. Y'all follow me. type thing. But I think with him again saying things like, "Oh well, I went 7 of 22. I should have shot at the ball 30 times," or him saying the different things he was saying even before the playoffs, like they kind of like let some of the players check out. So that was one of the things that I learned. The second thing is Giannis is an issue. Like I knew that, but like
A problem.
the Celtics had no answer for Giannis whatsoever, and I don't think too many teams or players will have an answer for him. So I as funny as this sounds, I'll agree with Shark. I think with them having this series against the Raptors, Kawhi's good. Kawhi has really good defense, and the Raptors have really good defense, but I don't know how you're gonna stop Giannis. And I mean, even if you try to stop Giannis, I mean they are loaded with shooters everywhere. So it's I mean you can pack the paint all you want to, but he got Meritage, you got Eric Bledsoe.
He hitting threes now too, man.
Yeah,
Giannis hitting threes.
yeah. So that's the thing. So it'll be this series with the Bucks and Raptors is going to be. I think it's going to be good. So I can't wait for it.
And I guess my opinion on the Celtics is, I mean, like you said, Kyrie. It's all him. Gordon Hayward, hey, he came back from the injury. We have to see what happens with him next year. But I think me and Savage talked about this off air. I've been mentioning almost every single episode. I see so many teams that need a point guard, and Boston might be that team that needs Mike Conley.
Here we go.
So I'm calling the Grizzlies phone this summer.
Future Grizzly Jalen Brown.
Right. We can use some stuff.
I'm with you though, Savage. I'm with you.
Yep. But move on. So that night after that series ended, KD went out with an injury. Thankfully, it wasn't an Achilles, what we all thought.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. That, at this point, it's fake news until it come out.
Hold on. I forgot Ford.
Yeah.
No, I forgot to give his opinion on it.
Oh yeah. What y'all dang, what y'all made me think about is Gordon Hayward better than Chandler Parsons?
I tweeted that out.
Like, dang, it's kind of similar story.
Bow.
That was a player B that you tweeted out.
I
the
tweeted
other
that
day.
Hot take
Damn.
for you.
Which one are you taking for?
I don't know. Both seem kind of average right now. I don't know. I guess Gordon Hayward, because he probably younger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they might be the same age.
No, it
Really?
may be the same age.
He's younger, and he also just got hurt. This is one.
Yeah, it's more recent.
about
I guess.
Gordon Hayward.
Continuous.
I still think he's capable of getting buckets because he'll get buckets in Utah, but he got to get a full off season of him just being straight. You know. So.
And the team they cluttered on the wing too.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward 29 and Penn Parsons is 30.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So yeah,
Pretty
same
much.
age.
Gordon Hayward 29. I remember he was in college.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But
Yeah.
he was
That's
in
it.
college 4 years though.
Yeah. I wanted to play on like that team, like in Butler, like I was in middle school. That was kind of when people like first started shooting threes a lot. That like I feel like they were the pioneers for that in college. So like that's why I wanted to to play if I was to play college basketball at the time. So I still mess with Brad Stevens, but it's like, yeah, it's just interesting, how like Kyrie wanted to leave and now like he had the chance to be the leader and like like you said, having that type of attitude, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, well, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got what you wanted, and now you see what you got, basically, type flow.
Yep. And now he about to leave and go be
Yeah, go
number
be with
2
KD.
again.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And speaking of KD, good segue. Got hurt the game afterward. That was game 5.
Yep.
But Houston Rockets in old Houston Rockets fashion had the grand opportunity.
Two was right.
Doing all this complaining and talking about Chris Paul played last year. We're going to eliminate Golden State.
Two was right.
Hear Charles Barkley come on the air talking about Golden State can't win without KD. I said then, I was like, bro, when they lost game 5, because they came back and tied the game up right before KD got hurt. That was it for them. This was their golden opportunity. So, bye-bye, Houston.
I don't think Black Twitter did justice as far as us really knowing how hurt people are as far as this year's Rockets go, because so many people were talking trash last season. Oh, if Chris Paul would have been healthy, he would have went to the Rockets would have went to the final. Are you
I kept
serious?
saying if Iggy didn't get hurt.
And this is my thing. Honestly, to me, the Warriors are a worse team than last year. The Rockets are a better team than last year.
I disagree with that.
I definitely disagree.
I think they missed Trevor Ariza.
They're not
Yes.
better than last year.
They missed Trevor Ariza.
They do. They are more deeper than last year because they went like
Okay.
they went like 6 deep last
I
year
think
in
that's where I was
playoffs.
kind of going with that.
Yeah.
That's what I was going with that.
But they like more deeper with like Iman Shumpert and Austin Rivers played well, but
Yeah.
they had more players this year than last year.
I still don't see what they trying to accomplish with this Chuck Taylorish lineup that they got. We're putting PJ Tucker at the center. Like how? How do you win a championship with putting PJ Tucker at the center for one? For two, Chris Paul, what are you getting next year? What 30 plus 40, almost $40 million next
Second
season?
highest paid player in the NBA next
38.
season.
So Darren Moore, how are you gonna put analytics and match that with money as well? Because that's my whole thing with the Rockets. For one, they put too much emphasis on analytics besides the eye test, and for two, I'm with the method. Jump shooting teams do not win a championship unless you got a system like the Warriors.
And also, they playing Capella like $18 million next year, and he was like unplayable in this series.
So who are you gonna get to come in and hopefully add to a championship
They are
piece?
hamstrung for money.
Yeah.
They have no money.
They ain't got no money.
Darren Moore, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the Houston Rockets won't win a championship because of Darren Moore.
I'm gonna tell y'all
ladies and
who their
gentlemen.
problem is. It's that boy that's coaching, Mike D'Antoni.
Him too.
Him
too.
The way that D'Antoni works is that he is fantastic for like 2 years, and then once the league catches up to what he's trying to do, that's it. Like saw it in Phoenix, saw a snippet of it in LA where he had literally potentially 4 Hall of Famers on his team and couldn't make it work in LA. You know what I'm saying? And you get to Houston, it works really good that first year where Harden should have been MVP. The second year, Harden actually won MVP. This year, they were a 4 seed, so they slowly declining.
Yeah.
And I think at some point you gotta let them go. And I don't know who is gonna want to coach this team. I don't know who or how they gonna format the offense, but their offense is terrible. Like
Tyloo available.
for a reason.
I'll say this. I'll agree with you about Mike D'Antoni being their problem. I think their other big problem is Stephen Curry.
It's everybody's problem.
Yeah, but specifically the Warriors specifically the Rockets because one thing that I really paid attention to was the post game when they lost Game 6, and Chris Paul had no words. Like he had no idea what to say because he's been getting worked by Stephen Curry for years.
For years, yeah.
Like ever since he crossed him on the baseline, like Stephen Curry has given him issues every single time.
Karma.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
So
want to explain the karma story?
Karma.
Get started. Playing the Carm.
So the night before, Steph Curry reserved the gym, the what's the Toyota Center? That's where they play it to shoot around. So Chris Paul pit himself, want to basically schedule for him to go in there. So he gonna come in a little early. Steph come in, okay. Let's split up half court. You get the half, I get the half. Chris Paul like, no, kick Steph out the gym. So after Steph finished them off,
To a certain extent, I can see where Chris Paul is coming from.
Chris Paul just do the most for no reason.
Yeah, like
Like when he was with the Hornets, this was my favorite point guard. Now I can't stand him.
what he
I think that LA
I couldn't
lifestyle
stand
got
him
to
in
his
Wake
head.
Forest when just ask Julius Hodge about Chris
punch
Paul.
people in the I ain't gonna say it.
yeah, so I said this a couple weeks ago. Karma is somebody you don't want to play with. Karma is undefeated, and that's exactly what the was. I get like Seven said, I get where you come from. I can see Jordan doing that. I can see Kobe doing that.
Yeah.
But if you gonna do something like that, you better check him in the next game.
right, exactly.
And he lit you up for. I guess you did your job in the first half.
Yeah.
But he lit you up for 30 in the second half. Like, and again, you were nowhere to be found. And like I said, him and James Harden looked lost in that post game conference. Like they had no idea what to say. They had no answers for Steph. They had no answers for Clay either. And it's just like I think that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. Because if you think about it realistically, if they didn't face the Warriors the next 2 years, they could have gotten to the finals last year. They could have gotten to the Western Conference Finals or again the finals this year. But Stephen Curry and the Warriors are their problem.
It's everybody's problem.
and James Harden doesn't have the it factor in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That too.
Yeah. So them losing Game 6 was really shocking for me. I just knew that the Rockets was gonna win that game.
Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed was the fact that it was tied at halftime and Stephen Curry hadn't scored. I said, well, that's a problem. And sure enough, he went off in the second half for 30 points, which I just think that's amazing. Like Steph Curry is. Like I think Dominic talked about it in our GroupMe, just like how like you gotta mention Steph as like one of the greatest players of all time. He hasn't done much. I mean, he's been in the league for some time, and he doesn't have like the amazing stats. But if you think about like his ability to change the game over the past 2 or 3 years,
man.
his ability to change the game over the past couple of years, like with shooting, with ball handling. And him
That's
just being
true
a leader.
because his in college he was not a point guard.
Yeah.
he was shooting guard. They had a white point guard,
Yeah.
and then I think his junior or senior year, they
he
made him a point
The
guard.
other guy graduated.
And if you look on his NBADraft.net profile from like the 09 draft, they said he needs to work on his ball handling. He's the best ball handler probably in history. Like honestly, like for real,
Think,
he might be. It's debatable.
Think he better than Kyrie?
It's debatable. It's debatable. It really is. Hey, it's
Jamal
debatable.
Crawford, Allen Iverson.
I think it's hand to hand, like with Kyrie
he ain't
and
talking
Steph.
about crossovers.
Because Kyrie got the ball on the string.
Yeah, that definitely.
Kyrie got
like,
the ball on the string, but you got to think about like how Steph Curry, like he can do some stuff too. He may miss some layups every now and then, but you got to think about the traffic that he controls the ball within. Like when he gets double teamed, when he has to
off
pass
the
it,
dribble shots.
like some of that stuff, it's hard to do, and Steph Curry is unreal. The man had 0 points in the first half and literally just went off for 30 in the second half. There ain't too many players that's doing that. So
I'll say this about I'm gonna let Ford go in a second. I'll say this about Golden State is their true offense got unlocked once KD got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you saw the ball movement because they basically made James Harden defend. Like because he got to defend now, and you end up tired on the offensive end.
It looked like the 15 squad out there.
Yeah, it really did.
It really was.
Iguodala back,
really was, yeah.
Draymond back, Bogut back, Livingston back. Like it's just like a switch just flipped out of nowhere. Like all right, KD down, bet Quinn Cook getting minutes.
Quinn
like,
Cook. Hey, Kevon Looney, give him a shout out.
Yeah.
He had a really good game.
and that's coaching, man. And that's the difference between the Warriors and the Rockets is coaching. Steve Kerr is a coach. Like he can coach his butt off.
For
Yeah, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, kind of what y'all saying. Yeah, I'm interested for the next series. Like to me, I was thinking Steph Curry was kind of getting, taken advantage of. Like, they kept trying to switch for him and stuff like that. So in the next series, that's what, like, one of the things I'm kind of be looking for, like, how they try to, like, I guess, just go at him on the defense end. Because, like, it was crazy how they just kept, like, intentionally trying to go, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I want your man, like, come screen for me, you know what I'm saying, so we can switch. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure. But, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That coaching, like, a lot of people wouldn't really think about that, but, yeah, it's a big difference because, obviously we know D'Antoni don't, he's not a defensive guy at all. And, like the old saying, defense win championships. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even with the league, you know what I'm saying, doing all this changing and stuff, we still trying to see like the old school, you know what I'm saying, saying still.
The game
still
slows
be
down
true.
the playoffs. It slows down.
True.
All right, so we move on to the great game sevens. Double, back-to-back great game sevens. We'll start off with the first one, Portland and Denver. So, Portland Trailblazers won. What was the final score, 100-96?
yeah, I think
Something like that.
It was only a 4-point game.
C.J. McCollum had 37. Dame Lillard struggled, but he almost had triple-double.
Facts.
He's struggling effort. So, and, Evan Turner had a
Big free throws.
I didn't know he was still on the team. He had scored in 5 games.
I was second that statement. Like, the same Evan Turner from Boston? Like,
Have y'all ever heard him talk before?
no.
It is so funny.
He look like Littlefoot to
I
me.
challenge y'all to listen to him talk. It's so funny.
Might look like Littlefoot. Might look like a dinosaur for real.
But I think last time we talked, I think they was going to Game 5 and Denver blew them out. In Game 6, Portland came back and won. And Game 7 was
Portland came back down 17.
Yeah,
man.
they're down by 17, and C.J.
Coach
McCollum.
right
So
there.
what
The walking bucket.
It's funny. My trolling out last time was is C.J. McCollum a top 3 shooting guard?
Yes.
And I think this definitely it's solidified it now. It's solidified now.
And also, which
I
block
wouldn't put
was
him
better?
top 3, but he's top 5.
What block? Well,
C.J. McCollum's block or LeBron's block against Zeke?
well, given the moment, LeBron's block is better, but CJ McCollum is like my height.
Yeah.
And when you look at that play though, who was the guy who had the ball? Was it Murray?
I think it was Jamal Murray.
Murray. So Murray had the ball. I forgot who the first defender was who slowed him down for CJ McCollum. But at some point he altered the layup and it
Maybe
made
Curry.
him
I think it was Curry.
Seth Curry, which again, shout out to Seth Curry because he played defense.
Self-
but like,
Oh, man.
but like with CJ coming for the chase down block, he could have easily just let him score that layup. You know, it's Game 7. Ain't no time for being tired. You got to give it your all, and he literally on both ends gave his all. Like that last shot to like seal the game, like it don't get no better than that, man. And even on Twitter, I think I put in the group me where some guy said, it was good defense, and he said, "Good defense, my ass." Like that's what I like about that, like cold-blooded killers, man. Loved it.
I think one thing that hurt Denver was down the stretch, you could definitely see their youth starting to come into play. They had a few bad possessions, costly turnovers down the stretch, and you just saw from any veteran team at any point when they see that opportunity, they're going to seize it. And you saw it in what Dame did, despite him having a terrible shooting game. His 18, 10, and 8, he was still able to be effective. And C.J. McCollum, man, I mean, enough said. That's a walking bucket right there. So
Myers Leonard and Zach Collins.
Huge game.
Oh yeah,
all do.
Huge game. The
whole Portland team to be honest.
all the
Rodney
Portland
Hood before he got hurt.
Yes.
They all did. Their role players came through on the road. Normally, role players play well at home. On the road, they came up big.
To be down 17 and then to keep it all together, that's coaching, man.
Yep.
That's coaching.
Serious thoughts.
Oh, hey Denver. We expecting that phone call about Mike Conley as well. So
trying to say Mike to everybody. I was just gonna say that. God, can Mike just stay in Memphis and chill for a second? That's true.
I need Mike to win somewhere.
Yeah.
Like Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was good to see. You know what I'm saying? Him having a moment of winning.
But speaking of Mark,
Can I add something with Portland? With Damian Lillard. First, I ain't been here in a while. Since Damian Lillard started slapping people.
Here we go.
I ain't gonna clown y'all too bad, but not even getting to the past series, but like Game 7, like I liked how he deferred to CJ. Like he understood what it was.
He had to.
And Denver had their best defender on Damian Lillard anyway.
Yeah.
But he was like, let me get out even on that last play, Lillard was in the corner. It was literally 4 down, 1 out. And they had CJ 1-on-1. And like I said, you saw what it was. So Dame, he affected the game in other ways. Like his rebounds mattered, his assists mattered, his decision making mattered. Like on that fast break where he had the layup, he faked the layup, threw it out, popped to the corner, bang, huge three.
I think this is why the Thunder, I hate to bring him up, Trevor, but the Thunder won't win a championship is because Lillard. Like Lillard, he went 3 for 17.
championship.
I mean,
They got the first round.
I mean, you know what I mean? Me and Savage having a one-on-one conversation. Y'all being rude as hell right now. But no, literally, he went 3 for 17. So, like you said, the rebounds matter, the assists matter, but he only had 1 turnover. And I think that's the point.
That's huge.
That's the stat for you. Like,
should have bought us someone else.
what does it mean?
He always said Damian Lillard. He picked Damian Lillard over a certain someone because of leadership.
No, because like the 3 for 17.
We got to. It's a daily episode.
Whatever. I just saw the fact the 3 for 17, and the first thing I see point guard shooting 3 for 17 is Russell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 1 turnover though, so you do gotta salute to
Shout out
the
to both
Blazers.
teams. They combined for 9 turnovers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It was a great basketball game.
Both teams are off. I think they only combined for 6 threes, but it was
that fourth quarter they missed all the threes. It was terrible.
Before we move on though, I do want to give, like I said, a shout out to the Denver Nuggets. They played a hell of a basketball season, and
next year
is gonna be on. Michael Porter.
Portland been there before. They've been hurt before by Golden State, so Denver gotta get they licks, and then next year they'll be better.
Some report that came out today was Michael Porter Jr. being cleared. So I don't think a lot of people realize the effect of that.
And he's
in
playing
Denver.
summer league, so I'll definitely be checking him out.
Yes. I was going down.
And Jokic and Jamal Murray.
I got high hopes for y'all, Denver. I got high hopes for y'all next season.
Before you got anything else?
Nah, not on that.
All right. Move on to somebody else bring this one up. I was starting sick on this one.
Okay, in dramatic fashion, the Toronto Raptors knocked off the Philadelphia 76ers 92-90 in Game 7.
Wait, hold on. Why you introduce it?
He asked somebody else to introduce it.
Y'all know I really almost
Didn't show up.
It was sad.
Okay, before we get to the actual shot, thoughts?
bad shooting game on both sides. Even Kawhi, he took 39 shots to get 41, which shocked me for him.
So you said we're not talking about the shot, right?
I said before.
Before. Okay.
So even Kawhi, because they ain't going well in San Antonio.
You're getting like 15 shots.
They shot me because I think just Nick Nurse, I think they coach Toronto, he just came in the game and said, Kawhi, We going.
This is
we doing it down by you.
I actually have a comment about that in reference to a lot of teams. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can have as many super teams as you want. You need one person that's gonna get you a bucket. Like, just one, not two, not three. You need one person that's gonna get you a bucket. Golden State is they pick and choose what day it is, depending on if it's gonna be Steph, if it's gonna be KD, for
Clay.
Yeah, or Clay. But like Philadelphia, the last 3 possessions was so frustrating. Brett Brown. Like, they couldn't make their mind up of who getting the ball. Was it JJ Redick? Was it Ben Simmons? Was it Embiid?
They didn't score. They scored 1 point the last 3 minutes.
Something like that. Something crazy like that.
That's trash.
As y'all know, I love Jimmy Butler. I kind of blame Brett Brown, but I kind of blame Jimmy also because he had a shot clock violation.
Yeah.
It was like, because I was like, Brett Brown didn't drop the right play, but also Jimmy Butler didn't pass the ball either. Like, it was a couple times on the screen.
And they weren't aware of, like, the shot clock. I'm like, what y'all looking at the screen?
I think JJ Redick did it one time. I was like, I love you, Jimmy, but I'm like, you messed up something at the end. He came back and had that game-tied layup before the shot.
It was real surprising just watching Philly out there operate on offense because, like, y'all work so hard on offense just to get a decent shot. And every time I'm looking up, I say, that's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. Like, Philly definitely needed another point guard because it's like when Ben Simmons goes to the bench, of course, they put the ball in.
They had one and they traded him.
Okay.
I agree with that now, looking back. Yeah.
Looking back, but
I saw a stat, too. We were plus 40 in the series. Not plus 90 in this. It was something crazy. We went Embiid on the court and went off the court. We was like plus 40 with him on. We was like minus 90.
I think they said that was like minus 12 in the 3 minutes that he didn't play. That's crazy.
My biggest thing, and it kind of goes back to a little bit what Savage said, which is Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, I think he had a bad shooting night, but I think a lot of it was good defense. I mean, there were a lot of shots missed, but I think both teams played really well on defense. Yeah. But the thing that caught my eye was, and I talked about this in group meeting, Kawhi Leonard's ability to move on the wing with the ball in his hand. Like, it looked really close. Like, I'm a big Kobe fan. It looked really similar to Kobe. It looked really similar to Michael Jordan, which they might not be the fastest or the quickest, but with the ball in their hand, it's like, stop me.
They're getting their spot.
Yeah, it's getting in that spot, and it's just like he had so many like good moves and good shots. I was like, dang, he looked just like Kobe, looked just like Jordan. And so, like I said, he had a bad shooting night, but at the end of the day, like, he looked really, really good. And so, again, shouts out to him. That shot, I'll segue into the shot. That shot at the end of the game was unreal. Like, I didn't think, it was like, is it going in? It ain't going in. Bro, that might go in. That ain't finna go in. That is a really win.
That's how long it was on the rim.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. Tough shot, by the way. It looked really Kobe-ish, by the way, too.
It did. Yeah. And there was a week after someone was talking about that he was more clutch than Kobe, and he got a big backlash.
Still ain't more clutch than Kobe. But that shot kind of helped prove this point, though. So that was a good shot. Kawhi Leonard is a problem. Now, it's just like, I go back and forth every week, like, who's the best player between him and KD? And it's like, dang, some days I want to say KD, some days I want to say Kawhi Leonard. So it's just like, it's good at the end of the day to have this many good players in the league. It's hella refreshing.
Good luck to that best player argument when he go get Giannis. Before you got anything.
Yeah, like Scholar said, man, it was really like Jordan-ish to just like watch him just move, like really like so mechanical. It's like I just feel like down the
mechanical like a robot.
Yeah, like for real. Like down the stretch, I just felt like every play, like he gonna some way find a way to make it. And he just kept like, you know what I'm saying, driving, hitting that little short mid-range shot. Mm-hmm. And then like when he, you know what I'm saying, shot the final shot, I was like, you know, it's a bad shot. Then when it kind of got in the air, it's like, okay, it might have a chance. But then it just like, see that happen, like, you know what I'm saying, that's like gonna be a historical moment. Like, I feel like we'll tell our kids about that. Yeah. I was like, man, I was watching that while it happened. Like, that's crazy.
Which shot was better? Kawhi's shot or Damian Lillard's shot?
Better in what aspect?
The actual shot? Go ahead, Trevor.
I'll go Kawhi's just because of the degree of difficulty.
Yeah, suspense.
Because like Dame's shot was like in rhythm.
Yeah. So, it's a shot he makes.
Yeah, it's a shot he makes.
Despite what Paul George
Despite
says,
what PG said.
He can make this shot.
Yeah.
What's funny is, y'all know I worked for the Grizzlies back in the day. It reminded me of Rudy Gay's shot over the Miami Heat. Like,
don't you ever.
Just the baseline. And I was actually right there on the baseline, so I saw it happen, and it was just like, oh snap, he hit that mug. Like for real. So I can only imagine how we were turned in. I was turned for like 5 seconds because we can't show emotion like as an employee. But
Would have lost my job.
like if you go back to that replay, my coworker actually jumped from like he slowly stood up on the shot, jumped, and then he stopped because he knew he couldn't react to it. But and just me knowing that I looked on the baseline for the ball girl. It was a ball girl. She turned up. She wasn't worried about it. So yeah, like that shot was crazy. Like, and it just like Scott says, like Kobe-esque, Jordan-esque, and y'all know how I feel about Kawhi. I feel like Kawhi the best in the game. That's how I feel.
Right. Before we move on to talk about the conference finals, I just kind of want to revisit what Skylar alluded to about the Sixers a while back as far as Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid playing together. I think this series really started to show that you may have to possibly move on from one of the two. And of course, we had a huge debate earlier in GroupMe about who would you rather keep if you're Philly, Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. So,
Can we say that for a troll or not? Or golly.
I feel like that's good to talk about now.
Golly.
I say this
I
about it.
personally say get a new coach first and let the new coach figure it out. And Ben Simmons, get a I say mid-range,
That's
bro.
my boy.
Get a mid-range jumper, something around 15 feet. Like you ain't got exactly
I
get
really
in the paint.
don't think he needs a jump shot. And I'm gonna paraphrase our guy who's playing the Big Three, Gilbert Arenas, when he talked about it on his podcast. Like, Ben is hurting his team because he's not being as aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you see that teams are practically sagging off from inside the paint.
So much.
Like just it's so much that, like, literally just
Like, it's a warm-up jumper. You can go.
Similar to Giannis in a sense. They play off him and he still go.
Yeah, you just continue to go. Like, as Gil says, like, touch the paint. It forces everyone to collapse and react to the ball. And now you have shooters off. Now J.J. Redick has an open three. Now Jimmy Butler has an easy shot. Now Tobias Harris has an easy shot. So I think going forward, Ben has to work on practically just being aggressive, like basically getting
This
into the
summer, he
paint
need to
more.
get his butt in the gym.
Yeah,
Like, he does need to get his butt in the gym.
This summer, just work on just
Shooting.
and work
Like I
on
said,
getting in the paint.
that mid-range, similar to Giannis, because Giannis, he developed a little mid-range jumper.
Yeah.
Like, mid-range game, C.J. McCollum proved in the game 7.
The mid-range game was alive and well,
Don't listen
man.
to the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
Exactly. The mid-range game is alive and well, man.
I'll say this about Philly real quick. I don't want people to get too emotional and figuring out Trade Simmons.
Yeah.
Like, of course, this is a conversation because it's with all the sports talking head talking about now.
Media, they need something to talk about.
Right. When you think about it, though, it literally took a Game 7 in Toronto, a lucky 4-bounce shot for the Raptors to beat the Sixers. So the imperfect Sixers, as currently constructed, could have beat the Raptors in Game 7 in Toronto, but it took Kawhi Leonard, a robot, to hit a crazy shot.
And their starting five is only played together like 20 games.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
And just to close out on this topic, I think like what I guess my 2 cents of the shot is, it's like it's certain moments in life when Jesus just show you that he real.
Right.
And I think that's what
true.
happened
That's
with
facts.
his shots.
That's
But I
facts.
also believe that history repeats itself. If we go back,
Vince
was
Carter.
it 18,
Vince
19
Carter
years
shot,
ago, the
yeah.
Vince Carter shot that he
Against
missed.
Philly.
Against Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta pull it up right here. Sixers won by 1 point back in 200001. So it's like history repeats
That
itself.
was
Game
Dale-
7.
Dale Carey was the one who passed on the ball.
Hey, it's like Game 7. Okay, Jesus, like, you know what, I'm gonna mess with y'all this year. I got this alien/robot that's Kawhi Leonard. I'm gonna go ahead and bless y'all real quick. So now we finna get a good series in the Raptors and the Bucks. So,
Yep. And for the listeners out there, Soup calls him alien. I call him a robot.
but it's all the same. Well, no, it's not. It's not. It's not
I just call him the best player in the game.
Doing it all wearing New Balance.
Second
Yeah,
best.
he'll be this second. You'll be saying second best after this next series.
Doing it all wearing New Balance. Doing it all wearing New Balance.
New Balances.
I'm going with Giannis. As a matter of fact, we've been talking about the series now. Give me Bucks in 6.
Hold on. Let me write it down. Let me write it down.
Okay.
Can I make 2 separate predictions for the series?
What?
No.
Can I explain myself?
No.
I have a methodology behind it. Can I? No. Okay. Never mind.
You say what you say? Bucks and 6.
Like, can I turn in 2 different things?
Actually, no. I forget. That's for the other series, Blazers and Warriors. Okay. For the other series, but for the Bucks and Raptors, I got Bucks in 7.
Okay.
I want the Raptors to win, but I got Bucks in 7. I think Milwaukee just got too many players, too talented, too many shooters. Giannis is Greek freaky. That man,
He's
yeah.
the best in the world.
After Kawhi Leonard and after KD.
Above Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Despite Toronto winning Game 7, like a lot of things were revealed to me in that game. Of course, Kawhi was Kawhi, even though he didn't have the greatest shooting game. One thing that we didn't mention was the reason Kawhi took a lot of those shots was a lot of his teammates passed up a lot of shots.
Siakam.
Pascal Siakam, my
Siakam.
MIP, passed up I don't know how many shots.
I mean,
in
I
that
would
game.
too if Kawhi was on my team, man.
But if you're being left open and you know you can make a decent mid-range shot, you can make a three-pointer.
Where was Danny Green?
Yeah, and where was Danny Green?
Danny Green was shooting 1 for 3.
He only attempted 3?
Yeah.
He didn't have a good series.
1-3.
I don't.
Yeah, he ain't
Danny Green didn't even have a good series.
Him and Fred Van Vliet, they were they disappeared.
I just think with that, all that's going on, and just I don't trust Kyle Lowry. I don't trust
Marc Gasol.
I don't trust Marc Gasol. I don't trust half of the role players on Toronto. Give me Bucks in 7.
Actually, I'll second that statement. Kyle Lowry, not a big fan of. As great as Kawhi Leonard is, I just think the Bucks will be too much just because. I mean, I think Kawhi Leonard and Giannis will cancel each other out, but I think the Bucks are deeper. The Bucks have much better shooting. Then they have home court advantage as well too. So I'll take Bucks 7. I'll take Bucks in 7.
That's Bucks in 6.
Yeah, I almost said 5, but 6.
Dang!
You know what? Well, you already said I'll do Bucks in 5.
Yeah.
I'll do Bucks in 5 simply because I don't think that the Raptors have enough depth. If you look back at this Game 7, they only played literally 7 people.
And someone else is coming back too.
Who?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Back.
President.
He's back.
The president coming back?
President.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Bucks in 5 because like the Bucks, they are deeper, they know what they're doing, and that MVP that Giannis is.
He got a good
this
coach
season.
too, man. Budenholzer.
And coaching, it's like
that's
coaching.
That's pop right there, man.
Yeah, so I'm rolling with Bucks in 5. 4.
I'm gonna go with the Raptors in 6.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with the Raptors in
Explicas.
6.
Raptors in 6. Okay,
Yeah,
I see
because
you.
I'm gonna just bet on Kawhi's experience versus the the youth of the Bucks.
Yeah.
And even though like you're saying the kind of role players did get exposed, like they literally wouldn't take a shot. I'm expecting them to just at least give him some type of help. But I feel like the robot is that is that great. Like he's that great. I feel like he could do it. So I'm gonna go with Kawhi.
I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Raptors win. I mean, because it can go either way, but I feel like Kawhi, he just got that look. Like me and Scott say that all the time about Kobe.
Focus
Like,
right
he got that look, man. Like,
Giannis got that look too.
I can't see Drake buying Milwaukee gear either. So it's like yeah, I know what it is. That's why I said.
That's why Kawhi brought that
I'm
shot.
6 shit. That's what it is.
hey, yo, Drake, come out there with a
I need him in a Warriors gear or something.
right. I need him out there with Tim Hardaway.
How dare you?
It may still work. Hey,
Speaking of the Warriors, man. With KD, without KD, with Boogie Cousins coming back, with him not coming back, give me Warriors in 6.
I got 2 predictions.
Maybe 5.
I gotta say it, just because it's just I don't know. I feel it within my soul. So it's either gonna be Warriors in 6, and I don't think that Kevin Durant is gonna play until like Game 5. Because I feel like what's gonna happen is the Warriors are gonna win the first 3 games potentially. Well, depending on this scenario. In this scenario, they're gonna win 3 games, and then they're gonna lose Game 4. And then it's like, all right, we up 3-1. No teams came back from 3-0. Let's get Kevin Durant some run in Game 5. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll win in 6 games. However, if the series goes 7, I feel like Portland will win simply because Damian Lillard is from Oakland. Game 7 will be in Oakland, and Damian Lillard's gonna go ham in Game 7. That's my prediction. My predictions. I'll say that. So more times than not, Warriors gonna win. But if it goes Game 7, I think Portland's gonna win on the back of Damian Lillard.
I'll go Warriors in 6. I'll go Warriors in 6 just because I think at some point Kevin Durant comes back. I think that's a huge help for them because I don't think the Blazers will have anybody to check him at the end of the day. So I go Warriors in 6. The reason I think I picked Denver to win the last series, but I wanted Portland to win just because I just want to see Steph Curry and Dame Lillard trade 30 for baskets all day. So that's what I'm ready for. I'll take Warriors in 6 though.
I go back, man. Give me KD, P Diddy, MPD, whatever. Warriors in 6.
Bro said MPD. Shout out to the police department here.
Oh man.
You go, Trev.
For me, I'm gonna go Warriors in 7. I just think I'm gonna take Savage's point. I don't think Durant plays until Game 5. And I think around that time, Warriors will be up 3-2. Portland will win at home to force their Game 7, and then the Warriors just kind of just bowl over them in Game 7 in Oracle. So
I'm gonna go Warriors in 5. I think the Warriors gonna win the first 3. Of course.
Hey, I almost picked them in 5. So
I think the Warriors gonna win the first 3. They're gonna lose Game 4, and then winning in Oracle. I think KD probably come back in Game 3. But I think if out of the 5 games, maybe one's a blowout. Like I really think it's gonna be a close game series.
I think Game 1 will be a blowout.
You think Game 1 gonna be a blowout?
In the Warriors' favor, yeah, I think so.
Okay, that may be the only one though. But I think it's gonna be a very close series every game. But I think the Warriors just experience gonna be talent every day, and experience meaning glue and everything. But I'm not gonna punk the Blazers out. I just want good games.
Yeah,
but I can't see them actually winning too many against the Warriors. But that's all I want to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna also go with the Warriors in 5. I feel like, like you said, it'll feel close. And I think, with the Warriors without KD, is going to kind of like take this moment to like refine themselves. A lot of ball sharing, which, you know what I'm saying, I kind of noticed that pick up a little bit without KD. So I feel like they'll get kind of back to the roots. And also, funny thing I saw, y'all remember last year KD like laughed at CJ McCollum on his podcast. So it's gonna be funny. Around? Yeah, it's gonna be funny to see, like, you know what I'm saying, see what's about to happen.
Can we talk about KD's injury really quick? Because I feel like they're not telling us enough information.
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I feel like he out the whole series,
and I'm kind of nervous about that too. But I still go 5 games even if KD's out.
Okay.
But with the injury, it looked like an Achilles injury.
It like Achilles.
Like I'm watching, and I'm like, but that don't look good at all. It reminded me of Kobe.
Now, I saw the same with Achilles. Then when he turned around, he grabbed his calf.
Okay.
When they kept replaying the replay, I was like, oh, he did grab his calf. Because at first I thought the same. I was like, bro, it's Achilles. And that was the first thing I said, oh, he tore his Achilles. Then every time they showed replay, he kept grabbing his calf.
Even if it is a calf, that's still be problematic.
Yeah, it's still problematic.
You got to get a lift on your shot.
But they said he's had the injury before. So he kind of knows how to overcome the injury. He's come back in like a week before the other 2 times.
If I'm Golden State, I try to keep it as is, and if the series gets out of hand at any point, all right, KD, come on, need you to come and get these buckets.
So I think he should come back in Game 3 regardless, just for warm up.
Yeah, I guess assuming DeMarcus Cousins will come back in the finals.
They did say he was coming back. They did say he was coming back.
Bold prediction: the Blazers win Game 1.
Ooh,
I think the Blazers win.
You think Dan go off? Think Dan go off?
I think he'll probably have like a regular 20-25 point game. For some reason I just think they'll win Game 1.
Okay,
I'll take that, but I think CJ goes off.
Hey, I'll be with it, bro. Cool. I'm talking cash.
Oh, side note, shout out to the families of both the Gasols and the Currys, because they each have a brother in this conference.
I forgot about Powell.
Powell ain't playing though.
Powell, even though he's not playing,
he hurt. Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to both.
He might be coming. He might be
coming
back too.
Yeah. So
these folks are already deep, and they got. All right, so get to finally move on to college. And we spent a long time on NBA, but that was gonna happen today.
Yeah,
of course.
College, Memphis Tigers, Skyler, either way again.
This is beautiful. It's such a beautiful day in the city of Memphis, bro. What Penny Hardaway and his staff has been able to do since 365 days ago, probably to this day, has been nothing short of like remarkable and amazing. So since we've last talked, Lester Quinones, who was ranked like top 50 in the country, who is a really good 3-point shooter, he committed on Friday. Rajon Tucker, who is rated as the second best grad transfer that's out there, I guess.
Scored 29 on us.
It was Boogies.
In the
I remember him
uniform.
too. I remember.
He has committed to Memphis as long as he doesn't go to the draft, which I don't think
he
is.
will, no.
Because I think if he was going to the draft, he would have made he would have made the commitment.
Yeah.
So he's now coming to the city of Memphis literally hours before we got on the air today. Boogie Ellis, who's a top 30 point guard, who's a top 30 player in this upcoming class, he's now committed to Memphis. So it's amazing to see like what this staff has been able to do. And I think it's a testament to like Penny Hardaway and his grind, like his willingness to recruit, unlike Tubby Smith, who wasn't willing to do anything. So him being able to hit the pavement, him being able to recruit these players, him being able to just get these players to not to go to like schools like Kentucky, right? I mean, and I tweeted this early. Like, not only is he getting these players, but he's beating like the likes of Kentucky,
Duke,
Kansas, Duke, like Indiana. Like it's really really cool to see. I can't wait. Like I'm getting season tickets this weekend. Like just because like I just think this team is destined for greatness. This coaching staff, not Matt, Mike Miller, he has to get a lot of credit too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say Penny Hardaway is doing this and that third, but Mike Miller has done an amazing job of being his assistant coach and being able to get some of these players too. So like I said, they got those 3 players and they are still apparently not done. It's still apparently not done.
That's scary, man.
So I love it. I love all the hate that Penny Hardaway is getting. That means he's doing something right. I love all the hate that this program is getting.
I think this is the perfect city to receive that hate because we ain't gonna do nothing but get that energy right back to you once we win.
What were we talking about earlier? With music. If it's always looked down upon.
Let's go.
Basketball,
Let's go.
the same thing. Now we just need the Grizzlies to get the #1 pick tomorrow.
Man, if that happened, I'm done.
City gonna flip.
If they have, I'm out of the house. I'm like, no, I'm staying here.
We do got to give credit. It was a tweet that I saw earlier that we're one player away from Vegas announcing us or naming us a potential championship team. So do y'all think this is a potential championship or bust season for us?
I
I would
ain't gonna
say
say a bust.
yeah.
But
I've said
No, but because
Elite 8.
yeah.
Okay.
If you get to the Elite 8, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
an Elite 8 run would be sufficient.
Because you're still young.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the biggest thing that will work for them could get you that championship is having Ray John Tucker. If he doesn't go to the league, him coming back on the team is going to be huge because, like Sharky said, they're young minus Ray John Tucker.
hold on. The excuse of college students being young, though, like, is that really an excuse? Because most players now that come in are one and done. So it's like, is it really an excuse? Like,
it really was.
Like
Duke
Duke was young. It was young anyway last year, and they almost made it to the championship.
But
But did they win a championship?
Yeah.
Did they make it past the Elite 8? Like
The
you
only
just
young
said?
team in recent memory was Jaleel Okafor and them.
And that was 2015.
Yeah. So.
But even still, I think they had a veteran presence on the team.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think with them having Ray John Tucker, who I think it's so huge for them to have him because you got to think about like he's going to be able to do what Jeremiah Martin did, which he was able to have.
One thing that Memphis does, and this is consistent throughout the years, they will have some veteran guards and they get some good transfers like JUCO or like what's a guy named Jaron Johnson from a couple years ago?
Yeah,
Jaron Johnson, yeah.
He was good.
He was great.
He was good for
He was
us.
great.
Yeah, he'll get buckets on you. Like, but and I saw the game Little Rock played Memphis. Man, that dude.
You couldn't.
The man shot 41% from 3.
Yeah.
41%.
That's one thing that I love about this team
got
right now.
multiple
It's so
shooters.
many shooters.
Yeah.
Like you got Boogie, you got Precious, you got Tyler, you got.
This is going to be one of the deepest teams like in the country for real, just because you'll be able to go. I mean, he's probably gonna start. I mean, especially if Precious comes, even if he does. I mean, DJ Jefferson probably started at 4. But I mean, you have 5 freshmen, and then you have Tyler Harris, who's again it's his second year. Alo's his second year. Ray John Tucker, who's been playing college basketball for 3 years, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's them being able to have all that, and they're going to be deep. They're going to run the entire time. They're going to press the entire time, which is why I'm kind of not too worried about like Alo and Tyler Harris not getting minutes. Just because I just think that they're gonna be running and gunning like the whole time. That's what they did last year, and I think that's part of the pitch he's been able to pitch to all these players. Because people ask like, well, I mean, how's he getting all these good players? Like, you got to worry about the people that were already there. I think they've already had this discussion. And so that's why it's not that big of an issue.
It's like you can have this discussion, but when the season does start, that does change.
Yeah.
Now, I do agree with you though. I can see a dynamic in which it works, with, especially with the style they play.
Yeah, because I mean, even like I think the biggest thing you can look at, Gary Parrish pointed this out, is the fact that like this is his first year doing it. I mean, you got to think about all the players he was able to get like on his AAU team.
Yeah.
Like he had to deal with egos then. Like he got James Watson from Nashville. You see what I'm saying? Like not all the time did he just have like some slaw players or some just like regular players. Like he was able to get all these really good players.
He got players in what's that name? Lawson. He's in Oregon now. He coached that man.
Yeah, so he has experience. Again, it's not on the college level, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was able to do it at some point in his career. Yeah. So if he did it in high school, why can't he do it in college?
And I was just gonna piggyback on that. Like you said, literally everything that I was about to say. Like, of course, he don't have much experience in the college level, but you most of these kids that you have on your roster, you've been coaching for years.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's experience in itself. So if you got kids coming in that trust each other already, and you bring in kids to help with that. Hopefully, the key word in that is help with that. Honestly, man, I'm putting us championship a bus. Honestly, and I hate to put that pressure on the city like that, but I'm getting away vibes out. I'm getting away vibes.
I do get away.
I'm
getting them.
You know what's hard about doing championship bus? NCAA tournament. You saw how Virginia won championship last year.
It is random.
You saw how they won. Like literally all those luck, fluke type games. Like it takes that to win a championship.
Yeah. But I'll say this though. One thing I love about Penny Hardaway is he's probably gonna take this. He might not say championship or bust.
Oh no, he
might. But he's going to put expectations.
He's going to say championship.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. A lot of coaches these days, they don't want to put that pressure on their kids.
Or on themselves.
Yeah, or on themselves exactly. But he's going at it like he's trying. Like he wants to schedule like games with Kentucky, with Georgia. Like I can't wait for the Georgia game.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards.
I would be surprised if Penny don't say that he wants to win a championship, simply because we know his attitude in the media. Like even with going back with Bruce Pearl, fuck out of here. Like he said that loudly. Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said it is like, yo, we got a coach that's really down for whatever that's gonna actually say what he feels. Let's get it.
I feel like this is a reiteration of what we said months ago. But like Penny, who was born and raised Memphian, Binghamton, heart of Memphis, like everything he does just embodies Memphis. Like the way that he
swag.
Right, like it just embodies Memphis. Like the way he recruiting is done at AAU, high school, middle school, elementary school. I lived it. I've seen people who left the school to go to another school, and people calling other people to go to their school. Like this happens, and like Penny, he does this. He was raised in it. He's done it at East High School. Like that's what he is. And like at this point, it's like, kind of like we mentioned before with like Memphis music, hip hop. It's gonna be Memphis versus everybody. This is what it's gonna be.
But let's get it.
Like that's what it's gonna be.
We got talent enough to hold everybody. So
right.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
You got all these national media guys coming out, clowning Penny because of the way he did, whatever. And it's just like y'all just hating on this man because
they don't know the story.
Right.
They wasn't here. They're making assumptions. It looks like he stopped Tubby for getting players. No, Tubby didn't do his good job in recruiting those players.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even if you don't know the backstory of all this, like just look at what he's done since the time he coached his first game to even now. Like his and we talked about this before we recorded. Like when he was going against some of these big schools like Texas Tech,
LSU.
Played against LSU. Like he was never once, like in my opinion, outcoached. The games that he lost, a lot of times it was because it was a talent
too
issue.
young. Yeah, they look smaller.
It was a talent issue.
Small, yeah.
And even sometimes not even that, because they didn't have a big man.
Yep.
If they didn't have a big man, they didn't have shooting. Guess what they have this year? They have a big man and they have shooting.
That's how I feel because just like you mentioned, Scott, like those games we lost, it was kind of like we could have beat Tennessee, we could have beat Texas Tech, could have beat LSU.
Yeah,
should have beat Texas Tech.
Should have beat Texas. Yeah, really should have.
Tennessee, to be honest.
And it's just like now he resolved all of those issues. So what's going to be the problem this year? Like the problem, quote unquote, that such and such is mad he ain't getting PT. Well, get your ass in practice and get better. Like what you want to say? And I feel like it's gonna be good for
That's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem to have.
And what coaching staff has a former coach of the year as well from the NBA?
Sam Mitchell. Yep. So
experience.
So where do we see Memphis in the next 3 to 5 years?
At least with one championship. At least Penny's still doing his thing, causing hell for other coaches, recruiting. You not coming to Memphis to recruit.
Memphis needs
You're not
championship
coming
so
to,
bad.
I'm gonna
man.
say
It's our time, man.
I want it so
it's
bad.
It's our time.
I'm gonna
It's
say
our
2.
time. Huh?
2 championships?
2 championships. Let's get it.
I don't know about 2.
I mean, 3 to 5 though. I mean,
In 3 to 5 years,
it's time for a new day.
Man.
I need NCAA tournament, dog.
Yeah.
I've seen some
If I'm
things
being
happen.
realistic, I see 2 Final Fours,
There we go. I like that one.
1 championship appearance. I'm not gonna say championship win or not. I think an appearance probably. If it's gonna be one, it'll be one this year. Because I feel like you got James Wiseman, who is an NBA player. He's 7 foot, dunking, handling.
Unicorn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be this year if they're gonna get there. Because at some point you're not gonna get James Wiseman. You're not gonna get another unicorn next year. He gone this year. Like, he's gone. So you gotta. They signed some big man for 2020. I forgot his name, but he was pretty decent. But you gotta strike while the iron hot, and right now it's hot. So you gotta do it right now. But within the next couple years, I think, and I said it before. I said this months ago. I said it's gonna be like Villanova. It's gonna be guard you. You're gonna have Tyler Harris, Alo,
Damian Ball,
Boogie Ellis, like all the other players that they're not one and done players. They're gonna be 2, 3, 4 year players. And I feel like Penny, NBA player, Mike Miller, NBA player, Sam Mitchell, NBA coach. This coaching is gonna be good for them, and they're gonna make them into like NBA talent, kind of similar to Villanova, where you got all over the NBA's Villanova, like Josh Hart, Kyle Lowry, Randy Foy, who else is out there? The guy from who's in Phoenix,
Jalen Brunson.
yeah, like it's a bunch of guards and wings there. I feel like that's what Memphis is about to build.
DiVincenzo in Milwaukee.
DiVincenzo, yep. There's guards everywhere from Villanova, and I think Memphis is gonna be the same way.
Yeah, I'll second that. It, like Sharky said, it's hard. Like, I understand with on paper the team that he has. You would want to let's just say this is the NBA. Then you got to say championship or buzz. But it's March Madness. It's one game. Like, you can have. I mean, everybody can be off, and that'd be the one loss that you have. Yeah. It ain't nothing that you can do about it after that. So, I would definitely say at least at minimum 1 championship. But I'll definitely take a championship. A couple Final Fours, a couple elite eights here and there. But I think one thing that will not stop is his ability to recruit. I mean, just think about what he's done in just 1 year. Yeah. Like, I mean, even last year, like last year's class could have been better, but he got hired on late. Even with him getting hired on late, he was still able to get Alo, like Tyler, like he was able to flip those players. And so now that he had time, like he was able to get Boogie. He's able to get getting Boogie was good, actually. Crazy. He's able to get, of course, James Wiseman. He's able to get all these players, and I think what he does with them is going to be really key. I think them, if they're able to get some publicity as far as like getting stock in the NBA draft, I think at the end of the day, regardless of how many championships you win, if a player knows I can go to this school and get drafted, that's it.
That's why they go to the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Kansas.
Yeah.
So Memphis is gonna be right up there with them very, very soon.
Yeah. So I definitely think within the next at least 5 years they'll have at least 1 or 2.
Because Penny ain't going nowhere no time soon.
He ain't going anywhere.
I think he's stuck.
Yeah,
This is where he's gonna be.
He agrees. This is the only place he'll go.
The only person I'm really scared that might leave is Mike Miller.
Right.
But even that's why when they offered his son to Scott Shaw, like Mike Miller might be gone by the time.
That's what I was thinking too.
And can I add this really quick? Like, and this is an aside, but it's related. Penny is about to slap the American Conference for the rest of his lifespan here in Memphis. Like
Calipari did.
Like Calipari Conference USA.
Yep.
So the Big 12 had their chance to get Memphis. They chose not to. We
football.
getting better in football, getting better in basketball. We pretty good baseball, softball, all these other sports that they care about. Big 12 had a chance. You could have had Penny, could be on TV every time ESPN's on TV. But nah, American, they said, you know what, bet. We're going to rock with Penny, rock with Samson in Houston, UCF. Had a chance. 2012 had a chance. So,
and you can a little bit think about it. As far as probably except basketball, American is actually a really good conference.
Football's good.
Yeah, because the American is laying as far as basketball is top heavy.
Yeah,
I think the Big 12
6, 7 teams.
Yeah, I think the Big 12 is probably a little deeper. But even in football, like Big 12 ain't just hitting on all that. I mean, how many good teams you got in Big 12 football? Exactly my
Oklahoma.
point.
Texas.
Yeah.
So you got UCF was ranked this year, USF, Memphis, Houston was good for like a split second. Like, yeah.
And then now they got that new TV deal.
TV deal?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like you kind of bet out that you didn't go. Really?
Yeah. Touche. Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, I think if they can have some like immediate success, then like Scholar said, it'll just like set it up for, you know what I'm saying, it to just keep coming year after year. I hope, you know what I'm saying, Penny and Mike Miller can just stay together because, you know, like a lot of the people that are coming are saying that like they love Mike Miller and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying, like Penny has his song, like, you know what I'm saying, Lane, and now I feel like Mike Miller, you know, he has his own purpose as well, like as far as like, you know, recruiting people to come play. But so I feel like if they can stay together, then, you know what I'm saying, hopefully this could be something like we can see for years. But in 3 to 5 years, I'm gonna say like a championship, Final Four, Elite Eight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully.
Yeah, and that's a good run.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
that's a
Like,
really good
yeah.
run. Because I mean, if you think about it, that run when Calipari was here, they only got to the championship game once.
Yeah.
But they had like they had a couple. Yeah, they had a couple of Elite Eights.
3 straight Elite Eights.
Yeah, so that's good. It ain't as good as winning a championship or winning back-to-back championships. But at the end of the day, like you would ask if you could tell somebody that like going into a job, like okay, in the next 5 years you have 2 Final Fours, you have a couple of Elite Eights and a championship.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking
Who
that.
wouldn't sign up for that?
Let's go.
So it's time for our famous.
Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be.
Okay. Don't look at me crazy.
Looking at you.
So that means we're about to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Eastern Conference is getting a little bit better. I think overall with LeBron leaving and going to the West, it's kind of even some things out. So that's how you're getting all these, you know, good series where you got Orlando beating Toronto in what game 1 that was, something like that. You got Milwaukee stepping up, Philly stepping up. Indiana's gonna be back next year with Oladipo, hopefully. But I'm gonna assume they're gonna be back because Oladipo's hard worker, pretty good player.
Mike Conley too.
That's another thing that's potential.
I'm helping Mike Conley out.
So
man.
I'm looking at the East, and like I said, the Bucks are there. Raptors. I feel like I'm unsure about Kawhi and his situation because things could drastically change depending on how this Bucks series go. But right now, he looked like he was happy where he was. His uncle was there.
But he looked happy.
For like 2 seconds. For like 2 seconds. So Sixers, Pacers, I feel like Brooklyn's, they have some cap space. They're going to do a little something. The Magic are getting better. Pistons, they're okay. They made playoffs this year, but Blake Griffin was hurt. It pains me to say that John Wall will be back next year with Washington.
Oh, Willie.
Or Willie.
He's not coming back next year.
The Knicks might make the playoffs if KD goes there. But if KD goes there, they're making playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And also the Hornets were kind of like a fringe team. So all that to say, going back to Boston, I feel like Boston will not make playoffs next year because their team is going to be imploded from all that happened with Kyrie and then figuring out what to do with Tatum and Jaylen Brown and trying to be aggressive and make a move with doing something. Kind of similar to the Lakers situation where the Lakers kind of imploded this season. I feel like Boston is going to, like I said, they're going to lose Kyrie. Without Kyrie, I don't really see any strong, like, dominant player, you know, unless they go get AD. But AD not enough, you know what I'm saying? I don't think AD can make playoffs with the Pelicans, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel
like Boston's not gonna make
honestly, it's sometimes that I really get random thoughts that be like, okay, this gonna happen, and then it end up happening. Earlier, I had the same exact thought that the Boston Celtics not gonna make the playoffs next season. So I'm honestly it's not a troll. Honestly, because I just got that feeling randomly, and for you to say that it's like
affirmation.
Like I said, I don't think Terry is going to stick around in Stevens' system. I do think they're going to have to build around Tatum, but what talent you're going to add around him because Kyrie's not going to be there. Jaylen Brown's still going to stay. Horford maybe trying to look elsewhere, you know, see what he can get. He probably this probably be his last contract of his career or big contract of his career, so he probably want to get paid. I'm gonna go now to troll. I got your back on that one, bro.
Bet. Me too. We right here.
I got you.
Troll.
I don't see. I just can't see what teams would keep them out.
I'm gonna name some teams. So the Bucks, they're gonna make it, right?
Yeah.
The Bucks are in.
Raptors. Do y'all think Kawhi gonna stay?
I mean, even if he don't, I think that they can make it. They can be top 10. They can be top 8. They can be
They
top
won't be
8.
building in Boston with that Kawhi.
So
They gonna make the playoffs.
Sixers.
Yeah,
They gonna make the
Sixers will be
playoffs.
Pacers.
They gonna
Pacers will
make
be
it.
there.
Nets.
Make it.
They'll be there.
Magic.
Depending on
They
what
gonna
happens.
make it.
Depending on what happens.
I don't know about that.
They gonna make it.
I don't know about
Depends
that.
on what
They
happens.
gonna make it.
Pistons.
They're gonna lose.
No.
Nah, they finna lose Blake Griffin.
He there.
If he's
No, he's a free agent, ain't he?
no, he's not free.
Oh,
He's
he's not.
there.
Oh.
If-
Nah, they're not building in Boston.
No
matter what happens to Boston.
Um,
No.
Because you got to add room for the Knicks.
Orlando,
Detroit-
man.
The Nets have to be in there now because KD's not.
Detroit's a question mark.
Detroit question mark. Washington with John Wall coming back.
John Wall
John Wall got to come back for a
He
whole
ain't gonna
other
make a
year.
difference.
Why not?
Yeah, he's out.
For rip, damn. Damn, that's gonna be good for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
So Washington's done.
Looking at it, if the Celtics do, they may be a 8, maybe 7 if they make the playoffs. But I'm gonna still go with the not a
I'd
troll.
give them a 6 seed. I'm gonna say troll. I think they'll be a 6, possibly.
Okay.
I think it's a troll just because I can't see them missing the playoffs. Just because, and I think the biggest reason why I cannot see them missing, or I can't see them missing the playoffs, is because I just think they have too many trade assets. I think with them, they got Tatum, they got Jaylen Brown. Terry Rozier is probably still a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
That's a piece. They have hella lottery picks too.
Yep.
That's the thing too. Like that's the thing you got to think about. Because they have the potential. They potentially might get the Grizzlies pick.
Please get the Grizzlies.
They have somebody else's pick. They have somebody else's pick, and they still have theirs. So I think they may have at least 2 or 3 first-round picks this year.
3 lottery picks this year.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
I mean, what's the thing to have them if you're not gonna use them?
Oh, I think they'll use them.
But this draft is not that strong though. Aside from Williamson, Morant, Barrett, it's a drop off.
But it's a first-round pick.
But they might get.
So
they
I mean,
might
so
get
even
their top
if
three.
so then you can easily trade this. So even if you go try to get AD, you can use Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum for that. You still got picks left. So then if you lose Kyrie, you lose Terry Rozier, D'Angelo Russell's probably still available. You can go get D'Angelo Russell. Like it'll be some point guards out there. So
is Russell a restricted free agent or unrestricted?
But I brought his name up just because in the event that Kyrie and
I don't
KD
think Brooklyn gonna trade with Boston no more after what happened last time. But hey,
They won't have to trade with him though if like Kyrie goes there.
to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So you talking about sign trade?
Yeah.
Brooklyn,
I think they have too many assets to miss the playoffs.
So if let's say Boston
Even if they
stands
strike out,
pat,
even
like
let's
they don't
just say,
get,
let's just say they strike out
AD,
like in the offseason, they still can
I
use
don't
their
even know
going
who else
like,
they can
by
get
the trade deadline.
because they don't. I don't know if they have cap space or what, but like
They're gonna try
Go
to
to
get Kevin
Hayward's
Love
contract.
probably.
you got Tatum.
They could trade for Mike Conley. Like
They'll lose
Hey, I'm
Kyrie.
fine with this.
They'll lose
Hey,
Kyrie,
you
so that's 20 million off the books already.
If they get Mike Conley, then I'll say they make the playoffs. But I hope they get Mike Conley because that means we get Jaylen Brown. That's how I
And
feel.
I think Al Horford might opt in. I don't know how. I gotta look
I
at his
think
numbers.
he'll opt in.
Yeah, I gotta look at his numbers because he's like 33 now, so he's not getting another big contract.
That's too much money to
This
turn
is
down.
it. Yeah.
Think forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a trouble because I don't think it's gonna be enough teams that'll get that much better next year that'll keep them out of the playoffs.
Okay. Don't sleep on Atlanta, y'all, too, because they slapped some folks around.
No, they sleep on them. Now.
Okay, I was like, they
sleep on them.
they slapped some folks around, too.
Don't sleep on the Bulls too.
Who? It's John Paxson and Garth Foreman still in the front office.
I said, don't sleep on that. They sleep on themselves.
Don't lie, I heard the radio. Somebody saying they was like the Bulls get number 1 pick and still be trash next year.
Oh, man.
I actually don't have a troll in
I feel like somebody else had one.
Shoot, we run out of time anyway. We only got time for one more.
You said you had 2, didn't it?
Nah, I said we only got time for one more. No, I said we only had time for 2 because time.
All right, man, I got a quick one.
Okay.
I feel like
There
y'all remember the Lil B curse. You feel me?
Oh my god! Backstory.
I put
so,
Took on Lil B in college. You feel me?
and he is the worst rapper I ever heard in my life. I really don't think y'all understand how much Ford loves Lil B. Like I really don't think y'all understand that.
I'm going to tweet him right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Also, what we don't know about me and Took relationship is that I beat him with the Hail Mary. You
Shut
remember?
up.
Yeah. Freshman year, I beat him in my dorm room on a Hail Mary play.
Yeah, I beat you
And
like this
Madden.
average.
I believe so.
Yeah. But yeah. So back to the show now. So I feel like Lil B said he released the curse on James Harden. But what if he lied and like it's still there and we don't know? That might be the reason. They can't get over the hump.
But Lil B is a Golden State fan also, so
And he's a
probably-
Golden
Exactly,
State fan,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, he probably lied.
So you saying the curse is still on James Harden?
Yeah, bro.
that's not true.
That's not a true.
That's not
I
true.
believe
No.
that.
Let me say. Here's the thing. I think with the curse on James Harden, I don't even think you can put a curse on him. I think he just don't be that player in the big moments. He's not that. He don't have the it factor.
He'll play well,
Yeah.
but he's not gonna be like he said. He's not that it factor.
But he's been cursed his whole career. It seemed like.
It seemed like it. I mean, so, I'm like,
Yeah.
Lil B.
so is it a curse or is it just him? Say what?
And then he got Chris Paul on him there too, so it may be 3 times.
Thank you.
That's who got the curse. Is Chris Paul.
Got
Got it.
that State Farm curse.
Well, nah,
They won't.
Yeah, he ain't. Well, Chris Paul ain't got because he getting money. So.
That poll question is definitely coming soon now for sure.
Which one?
Whose curse is worse or better or whatever?
Okay, I like
Between
that.
Drake and
I guess
Lil B.
what make that's actually
Kardashian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kardashian too. That,
Poll question coming
yeah.
tomorrow.
Kardashian.
Hold on, can we bring Sierra in it too?
Nah.
That's not a curse. man.
She ain't what's her
Give it
curse?
That's a blessing.
Give it up.
Did you not listen to the other episode that I did? When
We talked
she
about
brought
that
down Amara Stoudemire, she brought down Bow Wow, she brought down she didn't bring down 50 Cent, but 50 Cent ain't been the same music wise.
Speaking of 50 Cent.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like
But Russell Wilson out here winning though.
So what about Russell?
Y'all heard my trolling now. He's not gonna make the playoffs.
I heard that.
He's not gonna make the
We
playoffs.
talking about that.
Okay,
Come on.
but
No, Sierra deserves to be in that, bro.
well, as far as the Little B curse, I feel like with James Harden, I feel like it's a troll simply because James Harden had the yips before Little B got to him, I guess, because like it started with the finals.
He was young though. That's why.
Okay, well, I said this then. James Harden ain't been the same since he got smacked in the head by Ron Artest with an elbow.
He did hit the game when the shot against the Spurs to take them to the finals after that though.
He still ain't dead.
He ain't been the same since the finals.
Yeah.
That year.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that Chris Paul, it's something with him. I'm trying to compare him to a player in history. Like he's real, and I don't want to hurt Trevor's feelings. He's real Tracy McGrady-ish. Like I don't know. He just
Tracy Gray could got the first round, man.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but it's like it's something that he is allergic to prosperity.
like Melo.
Like Melo is allergic to prosperity.
There we go.
He's allergic
Both
to
made
it.
one conference finals.
Yeah,
They both always get put out of the second round. I mean, they both what?
That's probably better
They're
one,
part
yeah.
of best friend. They're part of the Banana Boat crew. I mean, there you go.
hey.
All right, remember? We are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to iHeartMedia and 1019 Kiss FM. You can listen to us on any podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LBR Sports 901 and join the Facebook group at the Let's Be Real group. Great show, guys. Shout out to our guests, Mr. Ford.
Appreciate you coming through, Ford.
Yeah,
Hope you had a good
yeah.
time, brother.
Y'all
Yes,
don't know, man.
of
He's
course.
my former barber in college, man.
Yeah.
$5 haircuts.
Yeah.
I was in LLC getting lined up.
LLC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out to
multiple hustles.
Uncle Duke 2.0 for the
Uncle
comment.
Big shout.
Yeah, so hey, if y'all have any ideas, man, what y'all want to hear on the show, man, just hit us up either on iTunes or any of the social media. So
Yep.
hey, with that being said, we out.
Oh, damn. I want to add something else.
Oh, go ahead.
A couple of announcements. We're going to do a lot of cross promotion. We're probably going to do a lot of our local talk on our Blood City Buzzer podcast with me and Took, but we'll have all the guys on there more often. You will listen to that podcast on either iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, or 1019kissfm.com. So just be on the lookout for that. We'll be making big plans to try and get that show more.
Get the ball rolling with that
Yeah,
one more
get it
too.
so
Yeah.
we can
So you
get-
get more. You can listen to more of us. Like I said, the summer's about to be here, and I think we got a lot of ideas planned out. So to have 2 shows a week could probably benefit us and benefit you all because y'all love us.
Yep.
So
Also, y'all, I just want to throw this in real quick. Y'all can follow me at Twitter, Instagram, everything. I'm at Produced by Ford right now. Things coming for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Got some few different things. I'm kind of working. few different things, you know, few different things
I ain't
are
want to talk too
working
much about it
on.
because he, you know, I know how that works.
Artists be secretive.
Yeah.
My boy got something going on with Netflix.
Yeah. Hey, we keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all have, you know, some things to announce in the super soon future. So yeah, again, shout outs to y'all for the invite. I appreciate it. It's been fun for sure.
Just
Peace.
This is Ford, and you just listened to episode 36 of the Let's Be Real podcast, sponsored by the Binge Podcast Network. I want to give a shout out to my guys for inviting me. It was a blast. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode.